I have no tears left to cry. I never imagined I'd have to experience the day I would bury my husband. He died due to prostate cancer, and the memories of the 2 years of chemotherapy and medication remain vivid. I cannot imagine that he had already left me alone in this world. My heart broke as I saw his casket being lowered to the ground. My deepest condolences, Hazel. Thank you, Carol. A grieving voice was evident in every word that I said. Carol is my childhood best friend. She has been my anchor and source of support, especially when both me and my husband were struggling. Most of my friends came to visit my husband's wake. They also came to comfort me. The entire funeral was peaceful. Not until my mother-in-law finally arrived. She was wearing an all-black fit. I can sense the grief in her presence, and I feel for it because it is never easy to lose a loved one. She fell to her knees and bawled when she saw the casket. "My son!" she shouted. Our relatives tried to help her stand, but she refused. So I came close to her instead. "Mom, let me help you." I handed her my hand, but she shoved it away, and she looked at me with a pair of angry eyes. "You! If you hadn't been so lacking as a wife, if you had taken care of him earnestly, my son would still be alive." Her statement shocked me and everyone else in the graveyard. I was taken aback as she stood up and pointed her fingers at me. "I regretted allowing my son to marry a girl like you. Irresponsible." She raised her voice once again. Her words caused pain in my heart. Everyone was whispering, and it made me conscious. I started to panic and catch my breath. When Carol saw me, she held me gently. "Don't worry, I'm here." As the night grew old, I went home, and Carol insisted on sleeping over for the night. My heart felt empty because of my loss, but my mind is full of thoughts from my mother-in-law's statements. Ever since she came earlier, the atmosphere changed, and people kept on staring at me the entire duration. "Carol, why are people staring at me earlier?" I get it, because I'm the wife of the dead person, but their gazes are judging me. I can see the worry in her eyes. She was also hesitant to answer me. "Carol, please, tell me, did my mother-in-law say something?" She heaved a deep sigh and held my hand. "Aside from the ones she yelled at your face earlier, she has been spreading lies and rumors about your husband's death. She said you spent all the money for his therapy in your store, and she also claimed that you never took good care of your husband because you wanted him to die to claim all his money." After Carol said all of it, I broke down. My heart shattered. This cannot be true. All of that is a lie. I never wished for my husband to die, and I will never wrong him for money. I am not hungry for wealth. I cried so hard. Why is my mother-in-law being so rude? I never did anything terrible to her. I did everything to save my husband, even if it meant giving up everything I had. Carol comforted me as I grieved for my husband's death and my mother-in-law's insults. But then I heard a loud crash. It was coming from my store's front door. It only sits in front of our house. That's why I can hear if someone is breaking in. My anxiety went up as I heard loud banging, as if someone was breaking the entire door. What is going on? We should call 911. No, I have to go to my store. I rushed outside and saw two men banging steel on my store's door and window. Hey, stop that! I shouted at them. But they did not stop what they were doing. As I moved closer, I saw my mother-in-law standing behind them, supervising them. I need clarification. What is the meaning of this? What are you doing to my store? She instructed the men to stop. Since my son is dead, I will be claiming everything that he left, including this store. After that, she told the men to continue banging the door. This is not fair. I owe this and build the store out of my money and hard work. I own the store. I used my own money to establish this. Liar! You are a poor girl who depends on my son to survive, and now that he is dead, bold of you to assume that I will let you survive this world without even suffering? You allowed him to suffer. You did not take care of him when he was sick, and as a revenger, I will take over the store now, and you cannot do anything about it. That is a lie. I did everything to let Adam live. I worked day and night tirelessly at the store just to sustain his medication. She went near me and slapped me hard. I will never believe you. This is my store now, and no one can stop me. I whimpered in pain. Please, this is my life. I begged her. I worked hard to build this, and you cannot just show up here and take it away from me. You have no rights. I have all the rights because my son owns this. Stop claiming it is yours because everyone knows you cannot do that. She pushed me to the ground. From now on, I don't want to see your ugly face ever again. You will have no right to every property my son owns, including his house. Tomorrow morning, I expect you to be gone and out of my life forever. Please, don't do this to me. I begged for her mercy, but she paid me no mind until the glass jar broke and the glass shattered. As it crashed down, I could feel my life hitting as hell. I remembered my sleepless nights working overtime at a grocery store to save money for my dream store. I could also not forget the people that doubted me, but I proved them wrong as I successfully opened a business. But now, it just slipped away from my hands. All the blood, sweat, and tears that I poured have turned to nothing. Someone stole it from me, and I was just on the ground, helpless. I saw my mother-in-law go inside and push everything her hands reached. The mannequins, dresses, hangers were all scattered on the floor. Seeing it made me angry, and I was about to go after her when Carol held me. Control yourself. I heard Amber's mocking laugh as she stepped on the clothes that were lying on the floor. My heart breaks as I see my dreams slip away from my hands. All the years of hard work have now crashed to the ground. She threw a bundle of clothes at me. There you go. Go away and take that trash with you. You are all worthless. I hope you were the one who died instead of my son. Her words hurt me so much. I can feel the heaviness in my heart. It lingers within and makes me feel hopeless. My life has no direction now. Carol helped me get up and took me away from that heartbreaking scene. I could not endure the overwhelming feelings anymore, and I collapsed the last time I knew. I woke up the next day at Carol's house. She placed a bowl of soup on the bedside table. Eat, so that you can regain your energy. I have no motivation left in my body. All I can think of is my dead husband and my broken business. I cannot fathom that I lose two of the most important things in my life, my great love and my dream. The thought of it made my breathing heavy and my body lousy. Carol, I do not have the will to live anymore. Don't say that. It is not every day that you're suffering. Just keep hoping you will bounce back. My mind cannot take any motivational statements right now. I am drowning with sadness and pain. For the entire day, I just stayed in bed. I did nothing. I ate nothing. I was right there, questioning all the struggles I was facing in my life. My phone rang. It was a call from the loan company that I borrowed money from my husband's medication. Even though I had no energy to converse with others, I still answered the call. Hello? Good afternoon. Is this Miss Grayson? Yes, it is me. This concerns your loan. Will you continue to pay off your loan mortgage? You're already 3 months due. I remembered that I put my clothing store on loan 6 months ago to sustain my husband's chemotherapy. And I have to pay the money that I borrowed every month. But since my husband's condition worsened, I could not pay the debt because the hospital bills skyrocketed. And now I am 3 weeks late. But then I remembered that my mother-in-law had taken over my store. I felt my body being energized. I got up from bed and cleared my throat. I'm sorry, I cannot pay this month. What will happen to my store? I'm sorry to hear that, madam. According to the contract, if you fail to pay the debt in just 1 month, you will be forced to give up your property, which will be given to the new owner. I got a brilliant idea. Even though it is heartbreaking to give up on my passion, I must let my mother-in-law feel the taste of downfall. Sure, it's okay with me. This is noted, madam. It was a pleasure working with you. I ended the call. My mother-in-law must be enjoying my store now, including its finances and fame. But little did she know it won't last long. Her happiness is short-lived. She only has 1 week left to enjoy the store she stole from me. The thought of it brought me back to my usual self. I began to look more lively and accept that things in this world are temporary, and that I have to learn and move on from the struggles and challenges I face. Also, I can already imagine my mother-in-law's face as the new owner takes over my store. Although it hurts to know that my store is ultimately out of my control, it still relieves me because I know that it will fall into the hands of good people, unlike my mother-in-law. One day, I decided to peek at my store from afar. I saw my mother-in-law change the entire design of my store and remove all the clothes I was selling. She replaced it with jewelry. It breaks my heart to see all the changes. I once owned this place, but now I can hardly recognize it. I decided to leave, and as I was walking, I saw the nearby garbage area and realized that my clothes were dumped there. My tears started falling again. She's so ruthless and heartless. I can't imagine someone can be this bad. But my mother-in-law surpassed that, as she is the worst human alive. I cannot wait for the loan company to take everything away from her. A week has passed and the moment I have been waiting for has finally arrived. The loan company called me. "Good morning, madam. We will retrieve the store now." I told them that they could do so and could go to the store any time today, but they insisted on having me. So I decided to come to the store as well. I arrived there earlier than them. When my mother-in-law saw me enter the store, she rushed towards me with angry eyes. She held my arm tightly. "What are you doing here? Haven't I told you that I don't want to see your face again?" I shoved her hands, and for the first time ever, I showed her dominance. She was shocked by my actions. I walked past her, and she screamed and told me to get out. "Get out of here, you idiot! You're not allowed to be inside here." I paid her no heed, and I just rolled my eyes around the room. Until moments later, the loan company arrived. My mother-in-law was so confused. I greeted them, and it made my mother-in-law even angry. "Good day. It's great that you are here. I have been waiting for all of you. What is the meaning of this?" "Please sign the contract here, madam. After that, we will start removing all the stuff here." "What? Who are you? And why are you here at my store?" "Your store? But I thought this was Mrs. Grayson's." "Yes, it is mine, and I'm going to let you retrieve it. There, I'm done signing it." I put down the pen and instructed the loan company employees to dispatch all the things inside. "You can put all the stuff outside and put them in the dump." "No, stop that. You have no right." "I have all the right to do this because I own this place. Now, I am allowing the loan company to retrieve it. So that you know, I did everything to save my husband, your son. I did everything I gave up in my dream store to heal him, and you have no right to discredit everything I did for him. It was you who hadn't done anything. We asked for money and assistance, but you refused, and used your resources to buy your jewelry. If there is someone who is being irresponsible, it is you." She was taken aback by what I said. She knew that all of it was true. I saw the guilt in her eyes, but she shrugged it off and put her attention to the employees. She stopped them from bringing her jewelry collection, but it was too late. This can't be happening. This is not fair." The world will never answer unfairness with fairness. Look back to everything that you did. You took the store away from me. Now someone must also take it away from you. "This is mine. It belongs to me." She was starting to get hysterical. She was about to grab my hair, but I stopped her. "It does not belong to you because it was never yours." I saw the anger in her eyes, but reality slapped it away. She removed her arms from my grip and walked away. A car pulled up in front of the store, and it halted my mother-in-law from going away. It is the new owner. A very familiar man came out of the car and immediately removed his sunglasses. It was my uncle. My jaw dropped. As soon as he enters the store, he recognizes me. "Hazel, is that you?" "Uncle John?" I ran towards him and hugged him. He is my father's brother and my closest uncle. He came back from Australia recently. But I could not visit him because I was busy caring for my husband. He hugged me back. He removed himself from the tight hug and stared at me with concern. "What are you doing here?" "I own the place." "You do? Oh my goodness, I did not know that." "No, it is me. I own this place." My mother-in-law interrupted us. My uncle was so confused and looked at her with lots of questions. "What are you talking about?" "That girl is my daughter-in-law, and she's trying to take over my store." "That is not true, Uncle. This lady took over my clothing store. You know how much I love fashion and that owning one had always been my dream. And just after my husband died, she stole everything from me, including this store. But little did she know that it was already on loan, and now the company is claiming it because I failed to pay the debts." And of course, my uncle believed me. He knows me too well, especially my love for fashion. "How dare you say something terrible about my niece?" "Well, I will not continue to own this store. I will be giving it back to Hazel." My eyes widened, as well as my mother-in-law's. My uncle looked at me and reassured me. "From now on, this will be the last time anyone will take over your store ever again. I assure you that. I will pay the remaining debts and you will fully own your store again." Tears fell down my cheeks. I cannot believe it. After all the struggles, something beautiful has finally come to me. It is indeed true that good things come to those who endure. And for you, ma'am, your cruelty to my niece will not go unpunished. I will sue you for stealing her property and for mistreating her. You deserve to be in jail." My mother-in-law immediately fell down to her knees and begged for forgiveness at my uncle's feet. "Please, sir, I am so sorry. I was so desperate to earn money. It was never my intention to hurt Hazel." "But you still did. You were cruel to her, and I will never forget that. So explain yourself in court." My uncle called the police, and she bawled her eyes out. She reached out for my feet and begged, "Hazel, please. I am so sorry. Please forgive me." You have to learn your lesson the hard way. I hope you realize that every cruelty you do will return to you 100 times over. And with that, the police came in and arrested her. From then on, I rebuilt my store and lived the life my husband and I dreamed of. I was earning a lot, and through my money, I was able to fund children with cancer for their chemotherapy. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law was convicted and sent to prison for 5 years. On top of that, she was also required to pay me for compensation due to the damages she made on my store. She kept on begging to lift her sentence, and she promised me that she will treat me better this time and act as a good mother-in-law. But I told the authorities to serve her the punishment she deserves, and with that, she will suffer for the next 5 years.